MIT, the institute where genius became mischief and innovation changed the world. In the heart of Massachusetts, across the river from Boston, stands a place where brilliance has never been confined to the classroom. A place where students have turned engineering into art, mischief into legend, and ideas into technologies that helped shape the modern world. This is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. To outsiders, it is one of the most prestigious science and engineering universities on Earth. But to those who know its culture, MIT is something even stranger, and perhaps more remarkable. A place where the line between invention and prank has always been razor thin. Because at MIT, a hack is not just a joke. It is a tradition, a test of creativity, a celebration of intelligence, precision, and audacity. And long before MIT became synonymous with computer science, artificial intelligence, and cutting-edge research, it played a decisive role in one of the most urgent technological races in history, the development of radar and computing during World War II. This is the story of how MIT became a laboratory for both mischief and world-changing innovation. We are going to be looking at this documentary in phases. 1. The birth of a technological giant. MIT was founded in 1861, in an America that was rapidly industrializing and hungry for practical knowledge. Its mission was different from the start. While older universities often emphasized classical education, MIT was built for applied science, engineering, and problem solving. That practical spirit would become the institution's defining trait. As the 20th century unfolded, MIT grew into a magnet for ambitious minds, students and researchers who wanted not just to study the world, but to build it. Bridges, engines, electronics, materials, and later computers, MIT became a place where theory met hardware, and where the future was not imagined from a distance, but engineered in real time. And with that culture came a very particular kind of student. MIT students were known for being brilliant, restless, and deeply committed to cleverness. If there was a puzzle to solve, they would solve it. If there was a system to bend, they would bend it. And if there was a prank to be executed with technical elegance, they would elevate it into legend. That spirit gave rise to one of MIT's most famous cultural exports, the hack. 2. The hack is an art form. At MIT, a hack is not vandalism. It is not random chaos. It is a carefully planned, technically sophisticated prank. One that often requires engineering skill, stealth, timing, and a sense of theatrical reveal. Over the decades, MIT hacks have become part of campus mythology. A police car placed on top of the Great Dome. A replica of the Wright Flyer suspended in an impossible location. A fire truck transformed into a giant toy. Each one more than a prank, each one a statement. These hacks are not just about humor. They reflect something deeper about MIT identity. The belief that intelligence should be playful, that engineering can be imaginative, and that even the most serious institution can make room for irreverence. The students who carry out these feats often spend weeks planning them in secrecy. They study the architecture, the security, the logistics, the timing. They think like engineers, but perform like illusionists. And in that sense, the hack is pure MIT. It is a demonstration that creativity is not separate from technical skill, it is technical skill. But while these student pranks became part of the school's public image, another MIT story was unfolding on a far more consequential stage. Because during World War II, MIT was no longer just a university. It became a weapon of science. Phase 3. MIT and the radar revolution. When World War II erupted, the stakes of technological innovation changed overnight. The battlefield was no longer defined only by soldiers and weapons, but by information, by who could detect, calculate, and respond faster than the enemy. Radar, short for radio detection and ranging, emerged as one of the most important technologies of the war. It allowed militaries to detect aircraft and ships at a distance, often in darkness or bad weather. In a conflict where surprise could mean disaster, radar became a strategic necessity. MIT played a central role in that transformation. At the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, scientists and engineers worked under intense pressure to develop and refine radar systems for the Allied war effort. The institution became home to the Radiation Laboratory, better known as the RAD Lab, one of the most important research centers of the war. The RAD Lab brought together physicists, engineers, mathematicians, and technicians in an extraordinary collaboration. Their task was urgent and immense: to push radar technology forward as quickly as possible. And they did. MIT researchers helped improve radar accuracy, range, and reliability. They worked on systems that could detect enemy aircraft, guide anti-aircraft fire, and support naval and aerial operations. Their work helped turn radar from a promising technology into a decisive military advantage. This was not abstract science. It was science under pressure, science with consequences, science that could alter the course of the war. MIT's wartime contribution was not limited to hardware. It also helped transform the way humans thought about computation itself. 4. The dawn of computing. World War II demanded more than detection. It demanded calculation, massive amounts of it. Ballistics, navigation, cryptography, signal processing, and systems analysis all required faster and more reliable computation than humans could provide by hand. MIT became one of the places where this challenge was confronted head-on. The wartime and post-war years at MIT helped lay the groundwork for modern computing. Researchers and engineers developed machines and methods that would influence the future of digital technology. Among the most famous was Whirlwind, an early real-time computer developed at MIT after the war, originally inspired by military needs such as flight simulation and defense systems. Whirlwind was revolutionary because it was not merely a calculator. It was a step toward interactive, real-time computing, a concept that would eventually underpin everything from air defense networks to personal computers and modern software systems. MIT's work in this era helped define the architecture of the digital age. The university was not just observing the rise of computing. It was helping invent it. And that is what makes MIT's story so extraordinary. The same institution that would later become famous for playful student hacks was also helping build the technologies that defended nations and transformed civilization. At MIT, the same culture that celebrated clever pranks also produced some of the most serious scientific breakthroughs of the 20th century. 5. The MIT paradox. There is a paradox at the heart of MIT. How can a place known for elaborate student pranks also be one of the most respected centers of scientific research in the world? The answer may be that these two identities are not opposites at all. Both hacks and breakthroughs require the same core ingredients: imagination, precision, teamwork, and the courage to attempt something difficult. Whether it is placing a fake police car atop a dome or designing a radar system that can detect enemy aircraft, the mindset is strikingly similar. At MIT, intelligence is not meant to sit still. It is meant to move, to build, to test boundaries, to solve problems in ways n.